So for today's project, I'm going to be using 4 of these Dollar Tree square trays and 4 of these paint stirrers. They come from Walmart, and I believe it was like, I want to say about 90-something cents. I might be wrong, but yeah. So let's get into the video. So I'm going to start by taking the first little wood stick here, and it will go to the side like that. But I need it to kind of go up like this. So I think I'm going to put it like that because I don't want the tray to be kind of like that. Then our next one will come and be like So I'm going to be taking this straw string that I got from Dollar Tree, of course, and I'm going to be using it to wrap it around the paintbrush sticks. I'm not cutting the sticks. I'm just going to wrap this around all 4 of the sticks that I plan to use. And I know you guys can see in the background that I have a shelf up. Originally, when I started this project, it was going to be another shelf, but I was like, listen, okay, I have did too many shelves for my liking. I had an idea of what I was going to put in here and where I was going to put it, but after I put it up, I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And another idea popped into my head because I felt like it would be super cute. So that is what I'm going to be making here. So let's get back to the video. And so I'm not taking the string and wrapping all the way up. I'm stopping at this top piece because that will serve as my bottom to my project. So to know exactly where I want it to stop, I'm going to lay the stick on top of one of the sticks I have already finished, and where I stop there, I will go ahead and take a little pen and mark off, just make 2 little tally marks to mark off exactly where I need to stop, and it's just that simple. So that allows me to know exactly where I need to stop wrapping. That way I won't wrap too much or too less. I don't want to have too much rope on one and not enough on another. I want it to be exact. So that is the best way that I can come up with to make sure that everything is even. Now, once I get to those little tally marks, I'm just going to take my scissors, snip it off, take my hot glue gun, and place 2 lines of hot glue on each side. And there you have it. They're nice and sealed up and finished. It was at this very moment that I knew exactly what I wanted to make, so my mind was definitely made up on which project I was going to go with. Oh my God, that's so cute like this. It kind of made me want to do a craft like this. I swear, if I knew I could build something, kind of make me want to build a table, you guys. Like, oh my god. Don't that look like 4 table legs? So this is the first layout that I came up with when I realized I wanted to make a table. But after looking at it, I was like, okay, no, it's a little plain. So as I started going, I kind of figured how I wanted my legs. But yeah, I wanted to make a table. So I started by taking this Gorilla Glue. Yes, I have used it in my previous videos. It's some good wood glue, but it does bleed a lot. And when I say bleed, I mean it runs a lot. It's not as thick as I thought it was gonna be, and it takes a little while to dry, but it does really seal up nice once it finally does dry. So that I will say. So I'm just taking that and placing on my little wood trays, and I'm gonna glue all 4 of them together. Then I'm gonna take my little clamps to hold them together and allow them to dry. And so that's where I'm at with that. So I just decided to take my finger and make the glue as flat as I can, just because I don't want it to bulge out or anything when it dry. I want to try to get them as flat as possible. So I ended up rearranging my clips just because I was trying to get this as tight as possible. I didn't want to leave any gaps. So I ended up using 2 clips each on each end, just so it would give it a tighter grip. And this is what I came up with when it was nice and dry. Like I said, once the box was dry, it still had the gaps, and I was going to use some spackling to just a little to put up in between the cracks to seal them up. But unfortunately I didn't have any, and the Dollar Tree didn't have any when I went in, so I couldn't do that, and it was really bothering me to be able to see the little gap in between it. So I just took the actual wood glue and I traced along the cross picturette pretty much, and then I just took my finger and kept making the glue as flat as I could, so that when it did dry there wasn't any lumps once again. But I noticed that on one side the trays were a different size pretty much, even though they appeared to be the same size. 2 were actually bigger than the other 2, so that was really bothering me, but I just decided to go on with my business and finish up my project. So this is after the glue completely dries, and I am pretty much satisfied. Like I said in the other clip, you can tell that they are 2 different sizes, but I don't care, because like I always say in all my videos when I do a DIY, it's for my liking. I'm not making it for anyone. I'm making it for myself. So the little imperfections are okay. And I found this duct adhesive marble contact paper at Walmart, and I believe it was only like, no, matter of fact, I believe I found it at Dollar General, and it was about $4 to $5. So I pretty much just measured off a piece to cover this top, and I cut that off. I'm not completely covering the whole thing, just the top part, because I will be here all day trying to figure out how to cover the bottom and keep it from ripping underneath. The bottom is irrelevant because who's going to be looking up under there? Now, this table I know will be very small compared to all of my other tables, but I like it because I can set it next to a larger table or a larger piece, and I can probably set like a big plant on it with a candle. All types of things are going through my mind as I'm sitting here making this, and I know that if I can get this the way I want it to be, I'm pretty sure that I can do bigger pieces because I just can. I remember on one video I've done in the past, I took two end tables that I had for a while from Walmart, and I made my daughter a desk with them. So when I want to do something and I feel a little creative, I know that I can do it. So who knows? Maybe down the line I'll find some bigger material and I will actually make a bigger table. We'll have to see. Now I can't say with this contact paper. I have used contact paper lots of times before, but I don't know if it was the paper or the way the trays were uneven, but it was really bothering me. It was really, really bothering me. I was not liking how it was laying, so I had to keep pulling it off, putting it back on. But finally, after about 4 times, I think I got it. I think I had to go on the opposite side where it looked better. And so I just took my baby's card and went over it. I mean, contact paper is like one of the easiest things you can do, because all you're doing is making sure there's no air bubbles. And I plan to use this contact paper on my desk because, baby, doing projects on my desk, I have completely ruined this desk. It's just a desk that I got from Walmart. And everyone knows Walmart has this knockoff brand of wood. It's not even wood. I feel like it's like a cardboard. Yeah, but it's just not wood, and so I have really torn this desk up. Then my nightstand by the bed, it's also just awful, and I don't even know why it's awful. But yeah, I plan to use this cardboard paper. I mean, look at me, this cardboard paper. I plan to use this marble paper on several things in my room. So this is letting me get the idea of how easy this contact paper will stick. Now, once I had it completely stuck the way I wanted to, I did not like the way the ends were. The adhesive to me is just not as sticky, and I felt like it would pop out if I didn't put something else on there. So when I split my sides, what I ended up doing was just taking a little hot glue and adding it to the pieces that were still, the end pieces that was laying out. So you see here, everything is like glued down, and I really like how it's just like sitting there and it's not poking out. I would hate for it to be sitting out and I'm thinking it's all cute and the contact paper is popping up. So I just took a little hot glue and folded it over, and it folded perfectly, and I'm thankful for it. I was going to try to use some wood glue or some of the other glue that I have, but I just felt like the hot glue would dry faster, and it worked perfectly. I was worried about putting the hot glue on the contact paper because, as you see, it did start bubbling, but I did use my razor to cut all the excess contact paper off. It wasn't a lot, but then I just used the hot glue to glue the remaining little pieces down, and it was just that simple. I think the contact paper was fairly easy once I got it to lay the way I wanted it to. So that's how it turned out once the contact paper was nice and sealed up. Now for my sticks, I decided I wanted to go with a or my legs, I decided I wanted to go with a cross. So after I decided the exact position I wanted the cross to be, I went ahead and just used a little hot glue and put the two together. And that was just to go ahead and make the cross the way I wanted them to be laid. And the hot glue actually stuck to this rope quite well. So I finally have the cross that I want pretty much. And I'm satisfied with the hot glue. I'm gonna take a clamp just to clamp it together to make sure that it doesn't pop out or it doesn't move while it's drying. So I'm gonna take a clamp and put on both sides while I work on the next one. And I'm just doing the same exact thing with the second two. I am going to take the one that I already done to place it alongside it, place them together just so I can make sure that they are even, because I don't want to be messing up. So once I feel like they're even, I'll hold them in place and then I'll go ahead and glue them together. So there was no need for me to wait on those to dry. So I instantly went into laying my legs the way I wanted them to be. And this part here came so easy, but I knew I did not want to glue it down because I knew I wanted it to be a little more sturdy. So I decided to take some screws that I had handy and just place them into there. And they actually went in pretty well. I wish I would have had some of the little I don't even know what you call them, bolts or whatever, to hold them in there, but at the same time I was not worried about it because the screws are not going to show. They're underneath the little table, and when my baby starts to crawl, this would not be anywhere in his way, so I'm not worried about anyone getting hurt on it. So that wasn't a problem at all. So I was trying to use a small screw, and as y'all can see, that screw was not wanting to go in um, easy for me. So I found a medium-sized screw, and it actually started going in, but I felt like the leg part was moving out. So I found another clamp and I clamped the leg and the table together, and then I screwed them in and it worked perfectly. They did not move and I was satisfied. So I turned it over flat. I figured this probably would work a little better. And I just finished screwing the screw all the way in. And like I said, it did work better. So I should have started screwing it like this in the first place instead of trying to screw it the way I was. I just really wanted that screw to go all the way in flat. I don't like when they bulge out a little bit. That really bothers me. Now I would say I was concerned with like how am I going to cover the screw, but for most parts, I wasn't really worried about it because I figured when I looked at it, I couldn't really tell, and I just figured it looked more store bought with the screws showing. So with me having it like this, the second set of legs didn't want to sit. So of course I just used my little clips, and I got these clips from Dollar Tree as well a while back. I recently went and got another bag. I finally found them in the store again, and I really like them versus the little plastic clips I usually use. So I just clamped both legs in place, and I went ahead and finished screwing them in. I did have to take a minute to go find some more medium-sized screws because remember I said I started with the small screws and they were not working for me. I even thought about using a wood screw, but the ones I had handy are way too thick because I used them when I made my duplex shelves, so I didn't want to use those. So it took me a minute to find some screws in my little toolbox. I was really satisfied though because the screws I used really made a difference. And again, this is nothing high end. I know this is Dollar Tree material, so if I was going to make one and I wanted it more sturdy, I most definitely would not use anything from Dollar Tree. For that matter, I would definitely find some better option. I'll probably run back to Lowe's and get some little cuts of wood. And what I like about Lowe's is they will actually cut wood for you for free. So that is very helpful. But for now, this serves my purpose. So by the time I was done securing the second set of legs, I decided I wanted to add a screw in the middle of the legs where I just hot glued them again just to make sure that it's more sturdy. And I took and used the small screws. I pulled the little the straw thread apart just so I can have direct contact with the wood, and I screwed the screw in to both parts of the legs, and it worked perfectly. It did not pop out where it was all big and bulgy and you can see it. Once I had it placed inside, I did go ahead and just pulled the thread back over the screw so that it could not be seen, and it worked out perfectly. And so there you have it, my DIY table. I made a rug in my last video, so be sure to check that out if you have not. And I also found the taller table at Goodwill for like $5, and I just added some chalk paint to that as well. So that was supposed to be included in my last video, but I had some mishaps, so it did not get included. But As you can tell, it did not stand as tall, but yes, yes, yes. This is the taller table before when I first found it at Goodwill. And I wanted to include it into this piece here. So, yes, my grandson is painting for me. He is so helpful. So if you guys haven't already, please be sure to like, comment, share your thoughts if you will. And I'll see you guys next time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video because I really enjoyed making it. Bye.